Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. It is another weekend, it's another Sunday, and I thought for this week I would make yet another Eunice read. So welcome to episode 2. There's a lot. Eunice reads. My review, the haul. So, it's been a while since I did a Eunice reads. So, I thought it's time to share with you guys my reviews and the new books that I have collected ever since May 10. And there's quite a few. Sa bandang dulo, I'll be giving my thoughts muna dun sa mga books na natapos ko na. So I currently have 5 books that I will be reviewing for today. Sorry if naririnig yung mga ibon. It's currently 9:29 and maingay talaga sila pag ganitong oras. So let's get started. Again, I'll be leaving chapters so you guys can skip if you don't want to listen to the reviews, ganyan, and if you just want to see the haul, you can skip. Bahala na kayo kung anong gusto nyo gawin. Disclaimer, I will be looking down below from time to time kasi I'll be checking yung ratings, ganyan, and yung mga gusto kong sabihin about the book kasi I might miss things out. So, without further ado, let's get started. I'm gonna talk about the most recent book I finished first, and that is You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thao. So, for those of you who haven't read this book yet, it's about our female lead, Julie, and her journey of getting rid of all of Sam's things kasi hindi niya kaya yung grief. Pero, out of her desperation to hear Sam again for one last time, she tried calling Sam's phone or Sam's number, and Sam answered. The story progresses from there. So, I gave You've Reached Sam a 4.5 star rating kasi there are 2 reasons why. So, yung first is, hindi ko kasi gusto yung writing style na merong now and before. Like, yung, kunyari, chapter 2 now, tapos chapter 3 or chapter 4 before. Nakakalito kasi siya sa, like, timeline, especially if diretso kang magbasa. Although, it wasn't an issue here kasi maganda yung transition. It's just not for me. Talagang hindi ko trip yung ganong writing style kasi you can do it like memory style. So that's one. And the second one, I wanted a different ending. Maganda yung ending niya. Umiyak din ako sa ending. It was very tear-jerking. Pero I just wish the author used yung kanyang title. Ako kasi yung tipo ng reader, and also pag nagsusulat kasi ako, I like incorporating yung title mismo ng piece ko sa yung work ko. And I just saw the perfect chance to incorporate this title sa ending, which is hindi nangyari. So, ayun lang. Although that's just for me. Yung mga purple tabs dyan, those are the moments or the sad moments. Ayan siya. There's a lot. Pero, depende na rin kasi siguro sa inyo. I know there are more people who tab more sa book na to. I'm just not like an over-tabber or I pace out my tabs. So yeah, maganda siya. 4.5 for me. It might be a 5 for you. Again, how I rate is different from everybody. So yeah, You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thao. Next book, The Song of Achilles by Madeline. So, honestly, hindi ko alam kung paano ko to isa-summarize without sharing too much information. Kasi walang pigil din yung bibig ko minsan. So, I'm just gonna give my rating. I gave this a 4.5 stars. Again, sa akin lang yun. There are a few reasons why. Una, hindi ko kasi forte yung magbasa ng about war. And this book in particular, sobrang dami niya. Yung setting kasi nito was the Trojan War. So, ayun, medyo maraming talks about war. And hindi ko kasi forte yun. Plus, hindi ko pa forte yung reading so many Greek names. I know, it's weird. Gusto ko yung idea ng Greek mythology. Like, sobrang ganda niya pag-aralan. Sadyang, ako kasi yung tipo ng tao na hindi talaga magaling yung memory with names and yung kaakibat nilang title. So, madali akong malito, ganyan. Pero, this deserves all the hype it gets. Sa totoo lang. Kasi, sobrang pasasayain ka niya, pakikiligin ka niya, paiiyakin ka talaga niya. Especially towards the end. And paiinisin ka niya. Honestly, ako, I will say it now, at some point na inis ako kay Achilles. Meron talagang point sa libro na may inis kayo kay Achilles. Kahit na siya yung magpapakilig at magpapatuwa sa inyo sa mga unang chapters. Pero sobrang meaningful kasi ng book. Kasi ang dami niyang lessons na pwedeng ituro sa inyo about war, about love, yung consequences ng pride, and motherly love. Sobrang yung last line, grabe, yung last line ni Thetis or Thetis, I don't know how you say her name. Yung last line niya, sobra yung iniyak ko doon. Doon mo talaga marirealize yung love ng isang nanay towards sa kanyang anak. So, I gave this again a 4.5 star read. It's beautifully written, lalo if mahilig kayo sa Greek mythology. This is the book for you. If you haven't read it yet, it's The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now, for the last 3 books that I will be sharing. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the Trilogy. So we have Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Good Girl, Bad Blood, and As Good as Dead. For the trilogy, it focuses on our main girl, Pip, and the numerous cases that she has solved. So for the first book, Good Girl's Guide to Murder, this revolves around Pip choosing a closed case as her final project sa kanyang school. And as she's solving it, she discovers secrets na walang nakakaalam, as in buried deep. Doon nakafocus yung story, doon sa closed case and how Pip solves it. This book has transcripts and sobrang ma-entice talaga kayong basahin kasi feeling nyo talaga you're the one solving with Pip. So, it's a really good read. This deserves the hype. I gave this a 5. Yung plot twists niya, tapos yung sobrang daming tao na talagang pwede mong ilagay sa person of interest mo. And then parang, ewan ko, hindi mo siya talaga super i-expect kasi nga, andun nakalatag lahat. Tapos parang towards the end, you'll just get like, whoa. Andun yung plot twist sa dulo. And yeah, I give this a 5-star rating. It's really good. It's a really good way to open up a series. So, again, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This is the first book. Now, let's go to the second book. My favorite out of all the 3. Good Girl, Bad Blood. This is the second book. Unlike the first book, the subject here doesn't focus on a closed case. It's an ongoing case about someone who's very close to Pip. So, she again tries to solve the case. This book was just a roller coaster ride for me kasi at this point, I wasn't even like trying to solve. I was just reading it. Ito siguro yung pinakamabilis kong nabasa. I read this in 2 days. Kasi ganun siya kaganda. Ganun ka mahuhook sa kanya to the point na ayaw mo siyang tigilan. As in, I think I remember I was like reading chapter 20. Next thing I know, nasa chapter 30, 32 na ako. Parang like, dude, ang bilis. Iba siya from the first book. Kasi ito, ang daming emotions, ang daming mong emotions na mararamdaman. And yung mga POI mo from the first book na hindi mo napatunayan doon, lalabas dito. Sobrang ganda ng transition from Good Girl's Guide to Murder to here, to the point na talagang, while I was reading the ending, I was bawling my eyes out. Dito sa page kung saan ako nagbibigay ng thoughts ko, I even said it's a masterpiece. I gave this a 5-star rating as well. It's really good. For me, mas nagustuhan ko talaga to. Sobrang ganda ng pagkakasulat niya. And the plot twists until the end, sobrang masterpiece. Masterpiece. Good Girl, Bad Blood. The second book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. And last but not least, of course, we have the ending. As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. So, for those of you who have not read this book, I will show you my tabs. I only tabbed half of the book. That's because everything gets solved during that half. I will leave it up to those of you who haven't read it or who are planning to read it to guess what happens during the rest of the book. I will be honest, hindi talaga to yung favorite ko. Like, sa kanilang tatlo, I would have given this a 4.5 had it not been for the final chapters, like etong final half. Kasi it was so smart. Like, it was written so logically to the point na parang mapapaisip ka na, oh my god, yun pala yun. I still gave this a 5-star rating, despite it not being my favorite, and despite it not being the most, I guess, reader-friendly. I will say though, ito yung libro na sobrang tagal kong binasa kasi yung mindset ni Pip sa first few chapters, nakaka-affect talaga siya sa reader. Especially since, ito kasi, it takes place right after Good Girl, Bad Blood. So, yung mindset ni Pip dito, naka-affect siya sa akin. Like, to the point na I can't read more than 2 chapters a day. The difference pala dito, tsaka dun sa dalawa, kasi diba dun sa unang dalawa, Pip is solving other people's cases. For this one, she's solving her own. She has a stalker. She has to figure out who it is. And dun mag-revolve yung story. Again, this is a 5-star rating kasi despite it not being the best one, honestly, sobrang kalat-kalat din tong libro na to. Ano siya? Makalat na maayos. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Kasi wala nang ibang way na i-explain yung book apart from that. Makalat siya na maayos. And also, it answers your unasked questions. Again, I hope that makes sense. Kasi ako, meron akong mga ganun. Like, hindi ko siya natanong before sa mga naunang libro. Pero nasagot nitong libro na to. And, girl, I did not regret it. So, that concludes my reviews. Now, let's go to the haul. So, I will be honest, hindi ko na maalala kung kailan ko sila binili and saang branch ko sila binili. Kasi medyo matagal na yung iba and madami kasi to. So, I'm just gonna be popping yung price somewhere sa screen, both yung original and yung discounted price. So, let's get started sa haul. So, first book I got is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Next, we have my first ever Coho book. So, Ugly Love by Miss Colleen Hoover. Next, we have as of right now, a duology. We have The Inheritance Game and The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Next, we have You'll Be the Death of Me, Two Can Keep a Secret, and The Cousins. Next, sobrang hirap hanapin itong collection na to, by the way. I finally bought a new Disney retelling, It's a Whole New World by Liz Broswell. Second to the last, we have Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. And last but not the least, V.E. Schwab's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And then I'll just let you guys know sa mga susunod na Eunice reads pa yung aking thoughts naman about sa iba pang books na mababasa ko. So yeah, that is it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a while since I did a Eunice Reads. I'm gonna end the vlog here. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And with that, I'll see you guys next week. And don't forget, stay #unique. Bye!